Show before New Year's. I have an interview tomorrow I'm doing with Mike and a trader friend of his from TradeView. So that'll be tomorrow, off Wednesday, and then I'll see you guys Thursday and Friday. So let's talk about what's happening. The feature really is why is the yen coming off? Besides the technical reason, we talked about the potential of a second drive here, which is happening. So we should get some type of pullback in here, and then a third. You see the second drive, the RSI was still over 70, so that's not ideal. What we need is some type of pullback, and sometimes two is enough, but I'm looking for a three, and we're going to trade this example and wait for the three and teach a little patience going into it. So perhaps we get some type of pullback like this from here, and then we run again. The next high, I'll be stalking a top. Now, the euro came in higher and they sold it off. And if you don't know why uh, the euro is coming off, it's because we have really pretty big risk off happening here. And this is what I talked about last week. So I'm sure all the yen crosses are under pressure with risk off. I talked about this being a failing rally and that things were starting to roll over, and that's what happened. We started on Friday, and we're getting some follow through. People might be trying to buy this dip here. I wouldn't. I think we're going to take out this low. Um, Going into early next year, we'll see exactly what unfolds, but we have pretty good pressure in a lot of the mag stocks. They're not open yet, but pre-opening, you could see things like here's Apple, which had a down day Friday. It's about three lower, sitting on the 200 day. Here's Meta, which I said was a weakness at major support. They better hold it here, or we have another wave to the downside, something like this on a breakdown here is going to take us back towards the November lows. Google's lower as well, about $3. And on this first break, we held the breakout close above it. Maybe we're going to test it, take it out this time. Netflix had a few bad days. Look at the divergence that it had at new highs by just a point. So there's a lot of people stuck and trapped. I pointed out that Microsoft was one of the few that never made a new high as the S&P went to 6,100. Here you could see it. We never took out the July highs, looking pretty negative. We'll see if they could turn it. NVIDIA is actually holding up the best. Well, it's still down pretty good. It's down to a couple bucks. Let's see, 34 and a half, $2.50 on the opening, so be about 2%. But you see, this looks a little better to me. I thought we'd be weaker, torn between patience and just clearing the books until next year. Something that's important is that we're approaching the major breakdown in Bitcoin, something I talked about after these lows and rally that we're going to have a breakdown under 92 that could take it into the mid 70s or low 70s. That looks like that's imminent. I don't know what's going to turn Bitcoin, maybe a tweet. We'll see about that. And I did want to talk about bonds because people have lost, and I've made an attempt to be long. Most people aren't buying them now. They've been hurt pretty good. But I just want to point out this divergence that you have in TLT. Look at this. So I'm not saying this may be the beginning of a big bull move, but we certainly could rally back to 89, 90 before we try something else. I would not be short TLT. Um, I really don't like to put on major positions into this time of year. So we'll see what happens into next year. Maybe this is going to be it if risk off turns into something a little worse than risk off. So we'll see what happens there. Um, as far as the dollar is concerned, dollar just is tougher today than the yen, but I still think that we're putting in some type of corrective pattern here where the dollar could still pull back towards this 107, 106 and a half level, and then run again up towards 109, 110. We'll see what happens, but I'm expecting a pullback here in the dollar. Um, so far we have a two drive here, right? It's on a different TF compared to the yen. We're tracking this on a daily as a one and a two, and most Ellioticians are calling this a five, that this rally was a five. Um, I don't believe five is complete yet, so we'll see what happens here. There is a little divergence here at new highs. Maybe there'll be more, but I'd like to see us pull back. Doesn't have to be as deep as this pullback, but maybe back towards, 107 and a half. 107.40 is a big line in the sand. I got that from Blake Morrow at Forex Analytics. My big line in the sand is much lower. It's at this low about 570, but there's a lot of stuff if you look left at 740, some type of breakout. So um, maybe we don't do anything worse than that and then push up one more time into New Year's. So despite what's happening in equities today, we do have the January effect, which is usually positive, the markets, and the market's going to need the January effect, in my opinion. So get ready for 2025. Um, who learned something this year? And what was it? Leave the comment at the bottom of today's video. Let me know, if it's helped you spot trading opportunities, some of the things that I've taught you over the last year. Been doing it longer than that, but it's a good time to review what you did during the year, what you learned, um, the mistakes that you made, to embrace them so you don't do it again. So everyone, I want to wish you a happy new year. I wrote something called the Trader's Prayer. I'll say it for you guys. Let's see, where is it? I have it here, guys. I should have it memorized, but these are my wishes for me and for you. God, strengthen me now as I face a new year. Build my conviction and vanquish the fear. Keep my mind clear, my thought process brisk to challenge the markets after measuring the risk. All right, everyone, don't just count your pips, count your blessings. See you next year. See you in the room. Let's make 2025 a banner year. There's going to be plenty of volatility. So get into a community. Don't try and do it alone. Find a community that provides some ideas and feedback to you, and let's just go get them next year. So don't try and make your year in the last day and a half, okay? And that's a wrap. See you in the room. Good hunting. Adios.